listening to The Announcer's Table with Daryl and Ian. This podcast is presented by RingIcon.com, the social networking site for wrestlers, fans, promoters, and everything indie wrestling. Log on today and create your profile, and as always, enjoy the show.
Hey guys, this is Ian.
This is Mini-Me.
Mini Pinky.
Mini-Me.
Mini-Me.
I'm on his boob.
Yes. So, this is the Announcer's Table, and today is Friday, so that means it's the pros segment.
Yes.
So,
now, I know what all you're thinking. What the hell happened to all the videos?
Yeah.
We took a little vacation. It was Labor Day, which happened to fall with my birthday weekend.
Yeah.
And I like to do it up. I party all week.
Yeah, so sorry we didn't make any videos this week, but we'll be back next week with lots of more attention.
He's Italian now.
Yeah, something like that.
It's new to me. But we will be back. Lots of videos, like you said. So we're excited. I got a bunch of guests lined up.
Yeah.
That wants to do interviews. People are like blowing me up. Hey, I want to be on the show. I want to be interviewed. So I'll talk real briefly. Last week I went to NEW's 1 year anniversary show.
Yeah.
And it was really good. You know, I was really impressed. They only run like once a month, and it was a really good show. CC Devlin, who we've interviewed, was there. He had a good match. Hurt his knee. His son Matt Devlin, who we interviewed, who was up a couple weeks ago, was there
last Wednesday.
Yeah, and he was in a ladder match, and that kid did some moves that he's still really, really fresh in his wrestling career. And if he keeps going the way he's going, he's going to be huge. Yeah. I mean...
I believe it. I mean, growing up with a wrestling ring, 2 feet from your bedroom,
Yeah.
And a dad like CC Devlin, I mean, you're bound to just feel natural in the ring. So yeah. I can't wait to see what his future holds.
And then we got some. I want to mention for people who are in this area. If you watch the video early enough tomorrow, TWA in Dalton.
Right.
They've been open for 20-something years, 26 years.
It's a very long time.
Yeah, very long time for an independent show.
Which is in Dalton, Georgia.
Yeah, Dalton, Georgia. They're closing tomorrow night's their last show.
Yeah.
I know we're going to try our best to get there. Just depends on if we get off work in time enough and then meet up, because Dalton's about a little over an hour from us. So we're going to try our best. I encourage y'all, if y'all are out, go up there, support it. It's TWA. It's all for Reed Road. I think it's 2500 Reed Road or something is the address. If you just get off the Dalton exit, turn left, it's down on the right a few miles. Yeah. So, I mean, it's really cool. I'm hoping we can make it up there tomorrow. I encourage y'all, go check it out.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, hopefully we'll be up there. So.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get to some pros.
Yeah? What? Well, I mean, this week or last week we missed the pros because you were sick right before your birthday, so we didn't get to talk about last Friday, or last week, in the pros. So what happened on Raw last 2 weeks ago that you really remember?
The AJ Lee promo.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the big thing. I didn't get to see it because I was sick, and so it was, and on Mondays I work, so I don't really get to watch Raw that much, anyways. But it was all a buzz. Twitter was blowing up about it. Facebook was blowing up about it. Everybody was talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great promo. It was just like, it was the best female promo I've ever heard.
Yeah. Well, as soon as I saw everybody blowing up about this, I YouTubed it immediately. Right. And after a couple of bizarre videos popped up, I finally found the one I wanted.
Right.
And I was like, wow. It kind of, honestly, it takes me back to the CM Punk shoot interview kind of thing that he did.
That's what a lot of people are saying. And then a lot of people then posted AJ Styles' shoot promo that he did on Thursday night, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But the only issue I had with AJ Lee's promo was the fact that the other female wrestlers didn't know how to react to a good promo. The Bella Twins were yelling and screaming at her, and it was distracting the crowd from AJ Lee. And it was distracting the video and the camera, and they just kept going back to them screaming and yelling, and it distracted from the good promo, you know.
It really was. I saw it, and I'm sitting there thinking, wow, she is like in a whole nother league. I'm not saying, I like her wrestling. I like her wrestling. I'm not a big fan of women wrestling in general, but I like her wrestling. Natalia, I like her wrestling, and I like her. But the Bella Twins, I'm not a big fan of their wrestling, and the other two divas, and then the
Trinity. Trinity is probably my favorite female wrestler in the WWE right now, just because she has a lot of really good moves. And
she's really athletic.
Right. That's the best thing about her. And one thing while we're talking about divas is Total Divas. It's been pretty good. This weekend is actually the mid-season finale. Yeah. You know, I don't really expect much or anything. You know, I mean, it'll be pretty good. But the thing that people are talking about with Total Divas is that they want to have AJ Lee drop the title to one of the people from Total Divas, so that people get the reaction of, you know, oh, what happens next, and they get the people that aren't huge wrestling fans watching Total Divas to switch over and start watching wrestling.
I hate that idea.
I agree. I mean,
all right, here's the thing. One, most women aren't known for their promo skills.
Right.
All right. Very few women talked. Very few women working on the mic. Sherry Martel, excellent on the mic. Okay. You know, she's no longer with us anymore, but she was excellent on the mic. That was a female wrestler from back in my day. But AJ Lee is like a whole other level. I mean, these other divas need to keep up or try to catch up to her and learn how to react. They need more camera work as far as talking and stuff like that. Because that...
Yeah, I mean, I think they're getting there. I mean, honestly, I think they need to work with their wrestling abilities. On Total Divas, they keep showing them in the ring practicing. And I'm like, okay, you look decent practicing. Why can't you look decent in the ring? It just, for some reason, maybe it's their just inexperience or something that they just get so excited and move too fast. I mean, that's a typical mistake for wrestlers, is you get too excited and you just start moving too fast and things start screwing up. Yeah. You know, I mean, and I don't know. It's something that the divas need to work on. But that's enough about the divas.
Yeah,
I mean, we don't need to spend the whole show talking about divas. But so let's move on to TNA Thursday.
Let's say I want to talk about the storyline.
Oh, that's going on Raw. Sure, we'll talk about Raw. Fine, whatever, dude.
This is a huge storyline.
Yes.
And it's kind of impacting all of Raw. It's not, like a huge storyline, but there's all these other sub storylines. There's still all those, but this one also kind of is impacting the whole locker room every week on Raw. And for instance, like just what we're talking about, I like it. I think it's fresh. Granted, it kind of reminds me of the whole Stone Cold going against Vince McMahon era, back when the Attitude Era kind of started. So I'm thinking they're going to go in a new direction. I've heard people say that they think Daniel Bryan is like the new Stone Cold as far as the storyline goes.
Yeah.
I mean...
I know. It doesn't hold the same weight. I mean... The Attitude Era can never be brought back.
I know that. But this is fresh for what it is and where it's been.
I agree, but most fans are long-term wrestling fans. So most people that watch wrestling nowadays watched it in the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
And that they're not going to live up to the Attitude Era.
I know that.
And so I don't know if they're setting themselves up for failure. You know what I mean? But we'll see. I mean, I love Daniel Bryan. He's a phenomenal wrestler, and I don't think they could do anything really wrong with it.
Well, I think they're working the angle with Big Show here because they've been working him hard.
I kind of like it, but at the same time, that is some serious soap opera.
Yeah, him crying and everything.
Yeah, him crying and then bringing in the personal life of his money and stuff like that. It's interesting, but they took it really far Monday on Raw with,
Yeah. But I mean, I'm kind of digging the storyline. It makes me excited every week to watch it and to see what I can watch.
It looks like it looks like they're building up Night of Champions to be a pretty decent show. So far it's Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan as main event. That is going to be a great match. Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton,
I think so.
They're both amazing wrestlers, and so I don't expect them to have a bad match at all. Then CM Punk and
Curtis Axel
and Paul Heyman. That's going to be a phenomenal match.
I think so.
Especially the revenge thing with CM Punk and Paul Heyman.
Well, I think their ultimate goal. What is the next pay-per-view after this one?
Night of Champions, and then I think it's supposed to be Hell in a Cell.
I think.
And then SummerSlam, or not SummerSlam. Survivor Series.
Well, I think the ultimate goal is to carry the same storyline with CM Punk and Paul Heyman, and he eventually, like the next pay-per-view, not this one coming up, but the next one, gets Paul Heyman by himself. So I'm hoping that kind of works out. I don't think that'll be a great match, but it'd be kind of a nice little gimmick match type thing to see.
But it looks like the other great match is going to be, it looks like I think they're going to put RVD and Alberto Del Rio against each other. I mean, I'm not crazy about Alberto Del Rio's, what's his name? The announcer, Ricardo being with RVD. I think it's kind of cool, but at the same time, it just doesn't.
Well, I can kind of see Ricardo turning against RVD during the match, and
could be. I don't know.
Back with,
but I mean, you got to admit that's going to be a pretty good match. Alberto Del Rio is a pretty good wrestler.
Now, another match is going to be Dolph Ziggler versus Dean Ambrose for the title.
But
how quickly does Dolph Ziggler fall? Like, he was here, and now he's like, back down again.
I think they were kind of just testing his fan appeal.
Yeah.
Because I think that they want to make him a long-lasting person in the WWE. So I think they're just they were testing the waters to see how the fans would react to him. So I think when maybe next year they'll really build him up to a Daniel Bryan.
Well, I'm kind of glad with the whole storyline. It kind of works because Cena's out,
right.
And so Cena's not that hero to come in and battle it. They have to really go, and they're giving Daniel Bryan this chance. And so, because we're not going to have John Cena for like 6 months or something.
Yeah, and something else big that happened with WWE, which was a big upset to me, is Cody Rhodes got fired.
Yeah.
Fired.
He's,
so, I mean, obviously he's getting married this week or the next week. And so, I'm sure...
I think he'll be off maybe a month or longer.
Yeah.
Because he's getting married.
Right.
He has a lot of stuff coming up. So, I think they might repackage him.
Yeah. So, we'll see. I mean, it was kind of obvious that was going to happen just because he was getting married,
Yeah.
I didn't think they wanted to set up like a bigger, like really pushing. I like him, but...
All right, well, you want to talk about some Impact?
Did it have an impact on anything?
No.
Well, other than, the main event for...
Bound for Glory?
Bound for Glory was the 10-man tag match.
Oh, that wasn't Bound for Glory. It was their TV pay-per-view.
Yeah. The 10-man tag match, whoever got pinned from Aces and Eights or Main Event Mafia had to or got fired.
Yeah.
And so the loser, I'm sure you watched, was well, you probably didn't watch, but it was Devon.
Yeah, you know what?
That was a big surprise.
I gotta say that one took me by surprise because nobody was talking about it being him. Nothing leaked about it. I was shocked. Like, honestly, I saw it. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Because that really just kind of, I'm like, holy cow. But I think it just come down to contracts or something. That's like the talk that's coming out now. So I'm kind of curious. And then last week on Impact, AJ Styles come out and says that he's not with Main Event Mafia, and he talked about it was a shoot-ish interview.
Yeah.
Our promo that he did.
Yeah.
Well, because he just signed. He's been in contract negotiations because the contract was up this month, and so he signed a short-term deal just through like the end of the year, because this last contract every year his money went up.
Right.
So this contract they're wanting to lock him in to the money to the salary that he's at now. He's not real comfortable with that, so he signed a short-term deal to work through the end of the year, and then he's going to kind of see where they stand and where the company stands.
Yeah, you definitely need to find out. For him, he needs to find out where the company's going, because at the end of the year, they're stopping the tours, and they're supposedly stopping the tours and hopefully moving to something more.
Well, they can't go back to the Impact Zone or whatever in Orlando. Because
but they could grab any place. I mean, they were in Tennessee for how long? I mean, they were
the Asylum.
Yeah,
for years.
So, and they did pretty well there. So, I mean, they could really grab any city, primarily, and say, and build a home there.
Yeah,
so,
that's the thing is, they're not quite ready to tour like they have been touring. They agreed to tour for a year, and they're bleeding money.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody needs to come in and save it.
And it's not going to be the
Hogan
WWE.
and Bischoff are the answers to that? No. When they first came on, I knew they was just going to destroy TNA, or Impact now as it's called. But, I mean, it blows my mind. It just, this promising organization is just...
Yeah, I mean,
it's lasted almost 11 years now. I mean, and I would hate to see it go anywhere, and I really hope they fight to save it, but they need some major changes inside structurally in the back. Or
they just need to give Ring of Honor a Thursday night TV show time or something. I mean, that's what I don't really understand is there's a million different independent organizations. Some are blowing up really big, some are still really small, but pretty much TNA could basically drop their whole thing and just pick up one of the independent circuits and put their money towards them and be on TV in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that will.
I mean, that's just. It's just something.
I would love to see Ring of Honor on TV, but they're too ECW-ish. I mean, I hate saying that. I don't like really comparing them like that. But in the style that the way they talk, the way they act, the way they do things, that it's going to be hard for them to get any kind of TV deal without doing some major changes. And that didn't work for ECW.
Right.
And I don't think it'll work for Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't know what the solution is. I mean, besides, giving us $1 million and we'll make it work.
Maybe a little more than $1 million. They need to stop freaking bringing in.
I'll take $1 million and
do
something with it.
These crap talents, from nowhere and that used to be names, and let them take it. That's where they started messing up.
Yeah, and don't
I don't want to say
Tito
crap
Ortiz
because
none of them are crap. I mean, all of them deserve to be in the ring for the most part, except Tito Ortiz and Rampage.
But it's frustrating because as soon as Bischoff went down there and Hogan went down there, they started just cycling in WWE wrestlers that WWE is letting go, and the guys who have been there forever carrying the company that was making it huge started getting pushed down and pushed down and pushed out. Then what happened to the product?
Yeah.
You know,
So.
And I mean, and that's what I hate about AJ Styles is, you and I was talking about this the other day, and the more I think about it is I don't know what he could do in WWE.
Yeah. I don't know either, because you don't want to hand him a microphone. He's not that great on a microphone.
Not at all.
And that's one of the huge priorities with WWE is you have to be able to wrestle pretty good. I mean, they'll throw some crappy wrestlers up at the top as long as they can talk. You know what I mean? Or they have a crazy gimmick. I mean, Fandango.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know what? He's actually getting better.
Yeah. I mean, a lot better than how he debuted with Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
So.
Ooh. Let me tell you what he is excited for. He has been blowing me up text messages. I can show you if I have my phone over here. He is so excited for this new tag team that's debuting in WWE. The Matadors.
Hey, I
oh my god, he is like excited. Like
I didn't really text Daryl because he's making all this crap up.
No, he's texted me like 20 times.
I am actually kind of excited about it.
He's like, oh my god, I can't believe they're finally gonna do this. I'm so excited. You know who they are? One's Primo,
and one
is that the fake Sin Cara.
Oh, really?
Think of his name now, but yeah, they kept them together. And they're repackaged them as the Matadors or whatever.
I don't mind it. I think it's kind of cool.
You know what? I think it'd be funny. It kind of reminds me of some of the 80s gimmicks. So I'm kind of a little nostalgic about that. I mean, I think it'd be fun at first. I don't think it's a long-lasting thing. So, but you never know. I mean,
never know.
Stranger things have happened. I mean,
yes.
Look at the dang Funkosaurus people. Ice Sweet Tea and
Brodus Clay.
Brodus Clay.
That's awful.
That is something about it. It lasts. It's lasting, I should say, I guess.
Yeah, but it's only lasting because they're shoving it down people's throats. And any person you get out there to dance music, it gets people excited. Yeah. No matter who they are. Fandango, Disco Inferno, Too Cool. You know, Too Cool was I loved them as wrestlers, you know, but I mainly loved their energy, their dancing and stuff like that. I mean, it was the goofiest combination of people with Rikishi with Too Cool, but it was fun, you know. That's the same thing with Brodus Clay and Iced Tea or Sweet Tea, whatever they want to call it. But I mean, it's still stupid.
Yeah. Well, you said exciting is what it makes people. And speaking of exciting, we talked about Darren Young coming out. And I told you.
Yes, you did.
I told you. As soon as he came out, before we recorded anything, as soon as I saw the TMZ video, I was talking to you. I said, watch what happens. And I told Ian, I said, they are going to get a huge push. And they are. They're winning over like teams that like the whole We Are the People team, the Real Americans or whatever they call themselves.
This week was main event on Wednesday nights. They actually did a main event encore, so they did two main events. And they were both in the main event. They both were the tag teams in the main event. They beat...
and one of them, they beat the Real Americans.
And the other one, they wrestled against the Wyatt family. And I'm pretty sure they won against them, too.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, well, that was the second one, and they won there, too.
Yeah, well, I was trying to watch, but the UFC was having a live event, and I love me some MMA.
This isn't...
But it was on Raw. They won on Raw too. I told you, man. Ever since he came out,
they're definitely getting a big push.
I told you he's going to get a big push, and they are.
I mean, it's not a bad thing.
I like them. I dig them.
They're pretty good. Same thing though. They give them some music. They got this goofy looking dance thing, and all the kids in the crowd are doing the same damn thing. So it gets people excited. No matter who it is, it gets people excited.
He gets excited every time we talk about Darren Young.
My jeans are getting a little tight.
They are.
Oh, you're looking?
I can't help it.
All right. So, I mean, that's pretty much it for the pros right now, though.
Yeah.
I mean, we're looking at a decent-looking Night of Champions, which is not this weekend, but the next weekend, I believe. So, we'll be watching. We'll tell you what we think about it. Yeah. Next week, we'll actually do a preview of it. We'll talk about the matches, and we'll talk about who we think's going to win, that kind of thing. So.
Yep. And we are working on something.
Yeah, if you haven't noticed, our T-shirts and
this is for breast cancer awareness.
Yeah,
that's why it's pink.
Or the printer screwed it up, but you know.
Either way, but we're working on something really big.
Yeah.
We'll have some more breaking news with that coming up probably in the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
It really affects a lot of independent wrestlers and independent shows. That
and
I think
independent
are going to be
fans.
really cool. Huh?
And independent fans.
Yeah, an independent fan. If you're a fan of independent wrestling and wrestlers, then you'll love what we have coming up.
Yep.
So, but I don't want to leak anymore.
Yeah.
So if this isn't leaking enough.
Yeah, no, this is pretty obvious. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the pros this week in the indie segment. Again, we want to throw a shout out to NEW for letting Daryl. I couldn't make it because I was in Savannah, Georgia, but Daryl was up there and said it was a great show. So thank you, NEW, awesome. For letting Daryl.
Yeah, I got to announce again.
Yeah.
And commentate and threw out a bunch of free swag.
Yeah, so if you know where we're going to be at, you might get a T-shirt.
Yep.
If you come up to us and say, hey, I watched you guys.
Yeah. So. I mean, wouldn't you like my big face on your shirt?
Actually, tomorrow night, or tonight, if you're watching this, I'm going to post it in the morning. If you're watching this and you see it before you come to TWA tomorrow night and we're there,
Ian will strip for you.
What special word should we make up that only you would know if you watch this?
Swag.
Swag. All right. So if you come up to us and say, I saw you said swag, I want a T-shirt. We'll get you a T-shirt.
Exactly.
It'll only be extra large. That's the only shirt we have. But, you know, we'll get you a
because we both wear extra large.
And a few more X's on Daryl's.
You know.
Yeah.
They can't fit all that sexiness in just one size, baby.
That's right. So, you know, until next week.
And regular videos again.
Yeah, and regular videos. So, we'll see you next week. And this is the announcer's table.